Hi guys, I'm going to show you guys how to make this Wolf's brand Russian Buckwheat Kasha, which is actually the brown toasted kind that they have from Russia. The kind that they have in the US is more green. It's not roasted or toasted. This is the good kind. I like this kind the best. It has a little more flavor. It's a little more nuttier. And then you can put it in a pan with an egg and you fry it up and then put the liquid in. It turns out really good. And it has a lot of uses. You can eat it savory. You can also make it into like a porridge for a breakfast, but I don't do it that way too often. I usually just use it for savory meals as a substitute for maybe like pasta or rice. This is the fine grain version of this kasha. It also comes in whole grain, but I got the fine one. Actually, they call it medium granulation, but I don't see a finer one sold in the store around here. So you get a cup of that. You need an egg, a bowl to mix the egg, a spatula, a fork, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. You don't want to use salted butter really. I mean, you can, but you really shouldn't, because if you use salted butter in recipes, it changes the taste of your recipes and adds salt you don't want maybe. You'd like to put your own salt just to make sure that you're regulating that and you have the flavor you'd like. Then you put the butter into some boiling water to make a serving of this for a couple people here. You would need 2 cups, it says, of broth, bouillon, consomme, or water. But I use water because I don't want to use vegetable broth and I don't eat meat, so I'm not going to use a different kind of broth. 2 tablespoons of butter or margarine. I always use real butter. I don't believe that margarine is the best way to go. 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, 1 cup of the kasha, and 1 egg or egg white. I'm going to use the whole egg. It tastes better. Plus, I don't need a huge serving of this anyway. This is wheat and gluten-free, so that's good if you can't eat gluten. So you put the butter into the boiling water and just boil it together until it's done. Crack the egg, put it in the bowl, and you just want to beat the egg lightly with the fork. Doesn't have to be perfect, just a little bit incorporated together. I mean, of course, you can also use a whisk. Pour the kasha right into the egg. And then you want to start mixing it and coat all of the pieces of kasha until it's completely coated. I'm going to do that very thoroughly here. And then you're going to pour it right directly into a medium heated pan. So once you have the kasha that's egg coated in your pan or your skillet, which I'm using, you just kind of spread it out. Medium to medium high heat. I actually have my heat right there right now, but it might need to go up a little bit. It just depends. You just cook it for 2 or 3 minutes. It's not real fussy. Just 2 or 3 minutes. It's not going to burn. It's already toasted. Just stir it occasionally here. Flip them over, you know. You just want to get a good toasty flavor on there, and then just get the egg cooked a little bit into the grains. And then, you know, once all the granules are toasted and covered with egg and cooked up enough in a couple minutes, you just are going to add the boiling water with the butter in it right directly into this pan and mix that. And then you just want to let it boil for a second and then turn it down to a low simmer. Cover it for about 10 minutes. Sometimes it doesn't even take 10 minutes. Sometimes it takes 8 minutes. But I mean, it just depends on your oven too, because I have like a half-sized oven here because my apartment's really small. And yeah, but you know, it mainly affects the inside of the oven more than the top, so it should be 8 to 10 minutes. If the water isn't completely absorbed by then, you can always add a little more time. It's going to be fine. Break it up so it doesn't get lumpy. My pan is spinning, but it's okay. I'm trying to do this one-handed, you know. I don't have an actual camera right now. I'm still using my phone, but I wanted to show you guys because I love this Russian kasha, and there's a lot of uses for this. I might be able to show you something you can do with this once it's done, but this is just generally to get this done. Now this is almost finished frying in this pan here. Then you're going to add the water and the butter. Well, the butter's in the water. And there you go. And now at this point, if you want to add salt, or you want to add pepper, even other spices if you like, this is the time to do it. You could also, I guess, put the salt in the water. I didn't. So I'm going to take this salt and I'm just going to put a little bit in here. And that's really plenty for me. If you want more, you can put more later. Mix that good. Just kind of, you know, mix it as you think. You don't want lumps. You know, it's going to boil for a second, and then you want to turn it up just for a minute, just to high, just for a sec. Excuse me. And then you make it warmer, boil, and then you turn it immediately down again to medium-low heat, just to simmer, and then we're going to cover it. Okay, now it's boiling, and we're going to turn it right back down to medium-low. Get it back to a simmer quickly, and then we're going to cover it. I don't have the proper cover for this pan. I have this big old cover from another pan, but you know what? That'll work. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be like a completely sealed cover. It just has to be covered. Like, that's plenty good enough. You want to leave it like that for 8 to 10 minutes, like I said, but you also want to check it and stir it occasionally and just make sure that the water is getting absorbed. Now, if you want to put pepper in, I do it around now, but I mean, you can put it in earlier. I don't really put it in completely right away like this because I like to use part of this for one thing and part of this for maybe another recipe. And maybe you don't want pepper in one of those and you do want it in another. So I would like to just leave it out. You don't have to though. It's actually really good if you put pepper in it, and you're actually supposed to put pepper in it. Especially if you want to make that recipe with the bow tie pastas and things. But that's not what I'm going to be using this for, so I'm just going to leave it out. That's entirely up to you. It's really not that big of a deal, you know? Just whatever you like. Okay, guys, it's been about 8 minutes, see? And it's almost done. It didn't even need 10 minutes. And it's almost perfect. I don't see any extra water left, so yeah, we're going to take it out. And now we're all done, and I separated it into a small amount, a slightly larger amount. A serving of this is about 3/4 to a cup. So this is several servings here. So I'm going to put pepper in the large one. I'm going to leave the small one without pepper, and I'm going to make 2 different things. And then it's all ready to make recipes with. So yeah. It's really, really simple. It's just like making rice or something. It's just a little bit different because you got to put the egg in it. And you don't have to put the egg in it. Like, you can just boil it or just, you know, put it right in the water. But it's really, really a whole lot better with the egg. So I'm doing it the way the package suggests, the way I learned how to do it. And yeah, the brown buckwheat is so much better than the green, I think. So. But that's my opinion. If you like the green one better, you can do it the same way. It's not going to taste as roasted, but it is going to taste good. So yeah, guys, maybe I'll make a recipe with some of this, and maybe I'll try to show you. Anyway, thank you for watching.